The body says, you know what? We have enough cholesterol. I'm going to let you poop this out. And now the ATP binding cassette will shoot it out. It'll go back into the luminal side and away it goes. So all of the cholesterol in our body is not esterified, meaning it doesn't have that big bulky side chain attached to it. The cholesterol you eat is esterified. And an esterified cholesterol molecule simply can't physically pass through that Niemann-Pick C1 like 1 transporter. Now, we probably manage to de-esterify 10 to 15% of our dietary cholesterol. So in other words, there are small amounts of dietary cholesterol that do make their way into our circulation, but it represents a small fraction of our total body's pool of cholesterol. Again, this was known even by Ancel Keys, the guy who turned fat into the biggest boogeyman of all time. Ancel Keys acknowledged this in the 1960s. Dietary cholesterol plays no role in serum cholesterol. Again, it took the American Heart Association another 60 years to figure that out, but even now they acknowledge that. Dietary cholesterol has no bearing.
So why is it that it's pretty easy to find studies, or at least people who are highly credentialed from good institutions, claiming that eating saturated fat,
saturated fat's different.
Saturated fat and red meat, things that are rich in cholesterol, to be more specific, is bad for us in terms of our eventual LDL.
So this is two different things. So saturated fat consumption in many people will raise LDL cholesterol. So it's important to differentiate between what is saturated fat. So saturated fat, of course, is a fatty acid, just so people understand, totally different molecule from cholesterol. Cholesterol is this very complicated ring structure, multiple rings stuck together. SFA, saturated fat, is just a long chain fatty acid that is fully saturated, meaning it has no double bonds. And it can exist in isolation. It can exist in a triglyceride, triacylglyceride, or a phospholipid, or all sorts of things like that. So when we eat foods that contain fat, basically there are three distinctions for that fat. Is it saturated? Is it monounsaturated, 1 double bond? Or is it polyunsaturated, 2 or more double bonds? The observation that eating saturated fat raises cholesterol is generally